Hey everyone, welcome back to The Truth Will Do. Today I thought I would talk about babies, balance, and coordination. So, one of the big questions that we get in our office is, well, or from moms, I should say, dads don't want to come in because they don't want to see their babies get adjusted, things like that. Um, know that when a child is getting adjusted, it's totally different from when an adult is getting adjusted. So when a baby's born, you guys, their spine, it's not fully mature, right? So the bones of the spine are so much softer. So we don't have to apply much pressure. I often say it's like checking the ripeness of a tomato. Like you don't need a lot of pressure when you're checking those little ones. And a lot of times when people are in the office, they're like, what are you doing right now? You know, when we're adjusting, they're like, that's all you're doing? Yep, that's the adjustment. So it doesn't take much. The other thing that we always want to emphasize is that, so if you have spinal segments or cranial bones that are not moving properly, the child cannot thrive. So they may not have any symptoms, but they're not going to be thriving to their full potential. And so they may not have symptoms, or symptoms may arise later. Or the other thing that often happens is, well, we'll see a lot in the office when they bring their child in, say they're 1 or 2, they may have had like reflux earlier or a lot of ear infections, and now they have this symptom or that symptom. That reflux didn't go away, it just changed. The stress of the system just changed its symptom. And so it all goes back to those spinal segments and moving those and making sure that the brain and body are in full communication with one another. So just like adults, you guys, children, babies, they need to be able to accurately perceive their environments. They need to have an accurate inner reality. And so a lot of times I will compare this to think about like even a blind spot, right? So if you're driving and there's a car but you didn't see it, it wasn't that you saw this like black hole, right? Like your brain relies on previous information, previous experiences, and it fills in that gap and everything. You didn't see it, but it clearly was there, right? But that was your perception of reality, that there was no car there. And so their brains, you guys, they need to know what's going on in their bodies and their environments. So if you have a child, say, who doesn't tend to have very good balance, and this is for a lot of kids, moms will say this a lot in our office, or they don't have very good hand-eye coordination, or they fall a lot. So we're going to really talk about that balance, coordination, hand-eye coordination. They need to be checked because obviously their inner reality is not correct. Like their perception of what's going on isn't reality, and they might be late and whatnot. That's a huge sign that they need to be checked to make sure that that brain-body communication is the best that it can be. So if you have a child in sports and you want to make sure that their hand-eye coordination, their balance is good, as babies are learning to walk, sometimes they will like toe in. That's a huge sign that they need to be checked. If they have bad balance, if they're falling a lot, if they are toeing in, things like that, make sure that they're getting checked. One of the scans that we do in our office is going to show you where that stress is holding out in that nervous system, because stress, as I always say, stress leaves stains on the nervous system. So we want to make sure we know exactly where that's being held and how we want to change that going forward. So that way they can function at their best. They can have the best coordination possible for them. They can, just thrive. That's what it's all about, is getting our little ones to thrive. And so we want to make sure that the spinal segments and the cranials are moving like they should so that every child can thrive. So we'll talk to you guys hopefully again tomorrow. Maybe not, we'll see. But I hope you found it interesting. If you did, you guys like, share, comment, let me know other topics that you want me to talk about, and we'll take it from there. So thanks guys, bye.